What could Jun-ho and Yoona possibly reveal that would send shockwaves through the entire industry and leave millions of fans stunned in disbelief? A shocking twist has emerged. A life-changing announcement that no one saw coming, and it's rewriting everything we thought we knew about them. Join Red Carpet Revealed as we uncover the secrets, the drama, the truth behind this explosive news. Let's dive in right now. What kind of revelation could send shockwaves through the entire Korean entertainment industry, shatter the internet in real time, and leave even the most seasoned insiders stunned into silence? That question haunted millions of fans as they scrolled through their timelines, jaws dropping at the sight of a headline they never expected to see. Jun-ho and Yoona, two of the brightest stars in K-pop and K-drama, had stepped forward with a piece of news so explosive it instantly eclipsed every other story. The world had seen them smile together on stage, swooned over their chemistry and dramas and award ceremonies, had speculated about what might be happening behind those stolen glances. But no one truly believed that one day the truth would emerge so boldly. And yet, here it was, a shocking twist. An announcement that changed everything forever. To understand the magnitude of the moment, one has to rewind through the careers of both stars. Jun-ho first captivated audiences as a member of 2PM, a boy group that defined a generation of K-pop fans with its mix of charisma, athleticism, and heart. While his fellow members each carved out their niches, Jun-ho distinguished himself with relentless discipline and an acting career that turned skeptics into believers. His portrayal of the tragic, determined king in the red sleeve not only won him critical acclaim but elevated him to the ranks of Korea's most respected actors. It was not just his talent that drew people in. Alright, a mix of intensity and vulnerability that made him impossible to ignore. On the other side of the story stood Yoona, golden girl of Girls' Generation, the group that shaped the very DNA of modern K-pop. Yoona was more than an idol, she was a symbol. Her elegance, her perseverance, and her seamless transition into acting made her a role model for a generation. From romantic comedies to political thrillers, she proved time and again that she was not just a face but a force. Her charm was magnetic, her reputation spotless, her place in the industry seemingly untouchable. When she smiled, the nation smiled with her. The thought of these two figures joining forces in real life seemed like something out of fan fiction. The kind of fantasy shippers whispered about in forums but never truly expected to see fulfilled. Their paths had crossed before, of course. Stood together at music festivals, exchanged laughter at award shows, and shared fleeting but unforgettable moments during collaborative projects. Fans noticed the way Jun-ho's eyes lingered a fraction longer when Yoona spoke. The way Yoona's laugh seemed softer when Jun-ho was nearby. But in an industry where imagination often overtakes reality, such observations were filed away as wishful thinking. Still, the whispers never stopped. Online communities spun entire narratives out of brief interactions. A blurry photo of two silhouettes at a cafe was dissected frame by frame. Matching accessories fueled weeks of speculation. Casual mention of each other in interviews set forums ablaze with theories. The agencies, ever protective, swatted away rumors with clinical efficiency. They are close colleagues. There is no truth to the speculation. We ask for your understanding. Denial after denial poured in. But fans knew better. Or at least, they believed they did. The Jun-ho couple became a myth. A ship that sailed through storms of doubt but refused to sink. For years, the myth lived in the shadows, surviving on crumbs of coincidence and the faith of its believers. And then, in a move no one saw coming, step into the light. Jun-ho and Yoona revealed news so monumental that it redefined both their careers and their legacies. The announcement did not come in the form of a tabloid expose or a grainy dispatch photo. It came from them, directly. A statement that felt both shocking and strangely inevitable. In an instant, the internet lost its balance. Twitter erupted with hashtags that trended globally within minutes. Instagram feeds filled with fan edits. Some joyful, some mournful. All electrified by the revelation. YouTube channels scrambled to upload analysis videos, while live streamers tried, and failed, to keep up with the flood of comments. In fan cafes, posts multiplied by the second, with users writing essays, poems, and rants in equal measure. Servers crashed under the weight of traffic, as millions tried to confirm what their eyes had already told them. The reactions were as diverse as they were intense. Fans screamed with joy, their faith vindicated after years of believing in the chemistry they saw. I knew it, one fan wrote. We were not delusional after all. Others, however, collapsed into heartbreak. Their fantasies shattered by reality. For some, the news felt like betrayal. He was supposed to be ours. A fan lamented. Why did they hide this from us? The divide was stark. A community once united by love for their idols now split into camps of celebration and despair. The media frenzy that followed was merciless. News anchors treated the revelation like breaking news, pushing aside political updates to cover the shockwave. Tabloids scrambled to piece together timelines, revisiting every past interaction between the two stars and reframing them as evidence of a long-hidden truth. Talk shows invited experts to weigh in on what this would mean for the industry, for their careers, and for celebrity culture at large. International outlets joined in, dubbing it Korea's royal couple reveal and likening the moment to royal weddings or Hollywood bombshells. Amid the chaos, industry insiders whispered that this was no sudden twist. Some claimed that Jun-ho and Yoona had been quietly together for years, protected by a circle of trusted managers, lists, and friends. Others suggested that the announcement was strategic, timed to coincide with career milestones and financial security. But regardless of the mechanics, the emotional truth was undeniable. This was a love story that had survived in silence, finally bursting free into the public eye. What made the announcement even more powerful was the way it blurred the line between fiction and reality. Fans who had shipped the couple since their drama collaborations now saw their fantasies validated. The chemistry that once existed only on screen had spilled over into real life, creating a fairy tale that felt both surreal and inevitable. For years, they had watched Jun-ho and Yoona play lovers in scripted scenes. Now, they were watching them script their own love story in reality. The stakes could not have been higher. An industry notorious for punishing idols and actors who dare to love publicly, this was a dangerous gamble. Relationships have destroyed careers before, unraveling endorsements, alienating fans, and toppling carefully constructed images. Yet Jun-ho and Yoona had chosen courage over caution, over secrecy. They had risked everything for the chance to live openly, and in doing so, had not just shocked the world, they had changed it. As the first wave of chaos subsided, one thing became clear: this was not the end of the story. It was only the beginning. The industry braced for impact. Fans prepared for war, and the couple at the center of it all stood hand in hand, ready to face whatever came next. The world had demanded a revelation, and it had received one. But the consequences, good or bad, were still to come. The morning after Lee Jun-ho and Yoona's revelation felt unreal. Newspapers carried the story on their front pages. Television programs replayed the announcement in endless loops, and social media remained in meltdown mode. Hashtags celebrating the couple's courage fought for dominance with those lamenting the loss of idols once imagined as eternally single. Even for an industry accustomed to shockwaves, this was different. The announcement had not simply added a new chapter to their careers, it had rewritten the entire book. The reactions poured in from every corner of the globe. In Seoul, cafes buzzed with hushed conversations as fans scrolled through their phones, showing one another headlines as though needing to confirm they were real. In Tokyo and Bangkok, fan clubs organized impromptu gatherings, holding banners that read "Congratulations Jun-ho" and singing their favorite hosts. In Los Angeles and Paris, international fans trended "Jun-ho Yoona forever" across time zones. Yet the reactions were not all positive. Fan cafes disbanded overnight, members declaring they could no longer support stars who had betrayed their trust. Others swore loyalty, vowing to defend the couple against the inevitable backlash. The divide within fandoms became a story of its own. News outlets covering the emotional battle playing out in digital spaces. For the entertainment industry, fallout was immediate. Advertising executives held emergency meetings. Jun-ho's clean bachelor image had been a cornerstone of campaigns ranging from luxury watches to health supplements. Yoona's brand as the nation's pure, hard-working goddess had sold cosmetics and household products for years. Together, their revelation forced companies to rethink marketing strategies. Some saw danger, fearing backlash from conservative consumers. Others saw gold, predicting that the pair's combined power as a real-life couple could drive record-breaking sales. By the end of the week, analysts were calling them Korea's first true super couple brand, capable of commanding influence far beyond individual endorsements. The media frenzy only intensified. Tabloids scoured archives, re-editing old footage of Jun-ho and Yoona at award shows, pointing to every smile, every glance, every moment of shared laughter as proof of a long-hidden romance. Talk shows invited relationship experts, language analysts, and even fortune tellers to weigh in. International outlets framed it as a watershed moment for Korean entertainment, comparing it to celebrity power couples like Beyoncé and Jay-Z or David and Victoria Beckham. What made this different, they argued? Cultural context. In Korea, where idols and actors are often punished for revealing relationships, Jun-ho and Yoona had broken a taboo and lived to tell the tale. Amid the chaos, fans demanded answers. How long had they been together? Who confessed first? What finally pushed them to go public? The couple offered no clarifications, their agencies choosing silence after the initial bombshell. That silence only deepened the fascination. Fans began piecing together timelines, revisiting old interviews, scouring social media posts for coded messages. One resurfaced clip of Yoona describing her ideal type as a man who works hard, who has a quiet strength went viral, reframed as a veiled reference to Jun-ho. Another interview where Jun-ho praised Yoona's professionalism and warmth was reinterpreted as a confession hiding in plain sight. The narrative became one of destiny, as if every past word and action had been leading to this moment. Insiders, meanwhile, whispered tantalizing details. Stylists spoke of glances exchanged when cameras weren't rolling. Managers hinted at schedules discreetly adjusted so the two could steal time together. Co-stars recalled moments of comfort too intimate to be mere friendship. Paparazzi, who had long hunted for proof, they had suspected but never managed to capture definitive evidence. If the whispers were true, Jun-ho and Yoona's love story was not a sudden spark but a carefully guarded flame, nurtured away from the public eye until it could burn without fear of being extinguished. The impact of the revelation rippled far beyond the couple themselves. Younger idols and actors watched closely, wondering if this marked the beginning of a cultural shift. For years, they had hidden their relationships in fear of losing fans, contracts, and credibility. Now, of the biggest names in the industry daring to go public, the rules seemed to change overnight. Editorials debated whether this was the dawn of a new era where stars could live authentically without punishment. Conservative voices pushed back, saying that the industry's foundations rested on the fantasy of unattainable idols. But among the younger generation of fans, acceptance grew louder than condemnation. The most poignant part of the revelation, however, was its humanity. Behind the glitz, the chaos, the hashtags, two people who had chosen each other. The courage it took for Jun-ho and Yoona to risk everything, careers, endorsements, even fan love, spoke to the depth of their bond. In a world where image often outweighs reality, they had chosen reality. They had chosen love. And for many fans, truth resonated more deeply than any scandal or backlash could. Speculation about the future ran wild. They star in a drama together, capitalizing on their chemistry now that it was undeniable. Would they walk the red carpet hand in hand, cementing their status as Korea's power couple? Some whispered of engagement, even marriage, framing the announcement not as an ending but as the beginning of a new chapter. Industry insiders predicted that if they did marry, the event would rival royal weddings in scale and global attention. Others worried that the pressure of constant scrutiny might strain the relationship, as it had for so many celebrity couples before them. But for now, none of that mattered. What mattered was the present, the joy, the shock, disbelief, the celebration. Jun-ho and Yoona had dropped a bombshell that would be remembered for years. Internet may have melted under the weight of their announcement. In its ruins emerged a story of resilience, authenticity, and love. In the days that followed, as the frenzy began to calm, one truth stood unshaken: nothing would ever be the same again. Fans who once dismissed the possibility now looked back on every shared stage, every award show, every fleeting moment with new eyes. Had once been dismissed as imagination was now reality. The dream had come true, and with it, boundaries between fiction and truth had dissolved. Shocking twist that no one saw coming was not just a headline. It was a turning point in Korean entertainment. It redefined what was possible, what was acceptable, and what was worth risking. It proved that even in an industry built on illusion, authenticity could prevail. Lee Jun-ho and Yoona had not just stunned the world, they had changed it. Their announcement will echo for years, marking against which future revelations will be measured. So they continue to share their journey openly or retreat once more into privacy. The story has already been written. Story of love defying expectation. Of courage shattering silence. Of two stars who chose to step into the light together. Thank you for joining us in unraveling every twist, every reaction, and every revelation. Stay tuned. As in the dazzling, unpredictable world of Korean stardom, today's shocking twist is only the beginning of tomorrow's legend. This has been Red Carpet Revealed.